Budget season is heating up in the state capital. So what does that mean for California's neighborhood restaurants? Well, I'll briefly tell you about two budget items the CRA has been lobbying for since the start of the year. Both impact restaurant bottom lines, stabilizing the state's unemployment insurance fund and eliminating state income tax on later Paycheck Protection Program loans. A refresher on where we are with the Unemployment Insurance, or UI fund, and why it matters. The CRA has been advocating since last year for state funding to help stabilize this fund. The fund is insolvent, and the state has been paying unemployment claims with a loan from the federal government. The state needs to start paying down that loan, or massive employer assessments will kick in come January 2023. When the proposed state budget was introduced in January, it included $3 billion to start to pay down that debt. We are happy to report that even after the usual springtime revision to the state budget, it still includes the funding we had sought. In fact, because the state finds itself awash in an enormous amount of unexpected revenue, we are actually revising our ask of the legislature. We are now asking the legislature and the governor for $10 billion to stabilize the fund and help hold employers harmless for a situation they didn't create. As sensible as this sounds, even the initial $3 billion set aside for this purpose is under attack. Other interests are trying to divert that money away to their own special projects, calling that funding a $3 billion employer UI bailout. Of course, that is nonsense, but that's where we need your help to amplify our advocacy with lawmakers. More on that in a bit. The other key issue the CRA has been pushing for in this state budget relates to the second round of federally provided PPP loans and grants. Previously, the CRA was successful in getting state law changed not to tax those PPP funds restaurants received as income. And the proposed state budget now includes about $500 million in additional funding to help those restaurants that receive these funds. That's good news, but there is a slight complication. Many California restaurants receive their disbursement of federal help after the California cutoff date for favorable tax treatment. It's just a timing problem, but ultimately, it means that without more advocacy on our part, the state will tax these survival funds as income. This funding, like that of the UI debt paydown, isn't a sure bet until legislators approve the final state budget, which generally has to happen on or before June 15th. Those same legislators need to hear from their own constituents ASAP, and that's where you come in. Please add to our on-the-ground advocacy in the state capitol. Visit our action center on calrest.org and join our call to action, urging lawmakers to approve these two essential pieces of restaurant relief today. Go to the link in the description below to make your voice heard. I'm Sabrina. That's the news you need to know.